Welcome back again to Spotlight, where we feature the University of Central Arkansas's College of Fine Arts and Communication. I'm Donna Lampkin-Stevens. Today is one of my favorite shows of the year. We get to talk about all things tuba. So joining me is Dr. Gail Robertson, who is Assistant Professor, I'm jumping ahead, of euphonium and tuba. And Thomas Jansen, who is a first-year graduate student studying euphonium performance. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
So tell us, Gail, I know you've really taken this Octubafest, Octubaween idea and really expanded it since you've been here. How long have you been here now?
This is the start of my 6th year here.
Okay, excellent.
So,
so tell us, what is Octubafest?
well, we have the month of October, not October, and so why not celebrate tuba? It's my former professor that I studied with during my master's degree at Indiana University was Harvey Phillips, and he's the founder of this. Mm-hmm. And so it's an event that takes place in many universities worldwide that sometimes features the tuba in various settings. Mm-hmm. We have some concerts happening here at UCA. There are going to be the recitals. It's the Octubafest, and that's where all the undergraduate students will play a piece on tuba or euphonium. And then we have another date where it has, we call our Tubaween or Octubaween, and that's got the graduate students playing a solo or ensemble duet things, and then the big tuba euphonium ensemble plays. So there's those kinds of things that happen. Last year I had an alphorn I brought out on campus. I'll probably do that again this year, and we let people try out an alphorn.
What is that?
The alphorn is a big, long instrument. I'm not sure how many feet that is. It's pitched in F, and I was given that instrument along with this thing down here on the floor, and from a friend of mine who's lives in Big Rapids. No, I'm sorry, Bay City, Michigan, and he gave me these instruments. But an alphorn is something you hear a lot on that Ricola commercial.
Oh, sure.
It's the big long instrument.
And how do you spell it?
ALPHORNE.
Alp,
yeah,
like the Alps.
Alpine horn is another abbreviation for it.
Okay. Cool. So, Thomas, have you been involved in any of these activities before at your previous? Where did you come from?
I come from Oregon. I come from the Salem-Keizer area. That's basically like the capital. I did my undergraduate degree at the University of Oregon, studying under Michael Gross, who is quite an interesting character himself. But no alpine horns over there, at least not that I'm aware of.
Any Octubafest?
Yes,
events?
we do have an Octubafest. We have Octubafest. We have Spooktastic, which is sort of like a family-friendly concert with the low brass.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah. So part of this, Gail, I think, is just sort of introducing this, like you mentioned, to the wider public, right? So what kind of experience? Where did you have this alphorn last year?
We had it out on campus. We brought it out there, and then students walked up, and we sprayed the mouthpiece.
In front of the student center?
It was in front, yeah, over by student center.
Okay.
Yeah, we brought that out just to get people's attention. This year, I don't know.
And they got to blow into it?
They got to blow into it, yeah.
Okay.
We sprayed the mouthpiece and let people try it. Just in time, I think one of the photographers came. We were on what's the
News 6?
No, it wasn't on TV. It was on the Twitter or something.
Oh,
UCA
okay.
Twitter account, something like that. Never been on there that I know of before, but. So.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, our events are open. They're free to the public. They all happen. Those two happen at Snow Fine Arts, and they're a 7:30 p.m. concert. And the one is on the 25th, which is a Friday night.
October 25th.
And October 25th, and then October 29th is a Tuesday. Last month was Septuba.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. So yeah, we have. So those are events that happen. Again, all of our students perform. It's a recital. It's a performance that's going to have a variety of music from different composers and time periods of music. So, and you'll hear young ones that are freshmen up to graduate students like Thomas.
So how many tuba players, euphonium players, do we have?
In my studio, I think there's probably 10 euphoniums and I think 10 or 11 tubas.
That's a good number.
Our ensemble has 12 euphonium players and 10 tubas.
Okay.
So they're called the Tuba Crew.
Okay.
KREWE, I guess is the name that was before I got here, where the former professor named it that. So yeah, we have that many people in there. It's a big bunch. We're going to do a bunch of polkas for something that's later in the month, or actually in November. But right now, we're featuring Thomas on a solo feature with the ensemble, and we've got a march, And you never know what you're going to hear with the tuba euphonium ensemble. So.
How did you choose the euphonium, Thomas?
It's such a long and complicated story. So
We love those.
Exactly. I started playing trumpet in the 5th grade. I'd done piano lessons before.
Your
but
beginning instrument then, besides
Yeah.
piano.
Yeah, and when I got to high school, I got braces, and braces for brass players are just
Bad
really.
news.
I hadn't thought
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Because
sure.
the vibrating right on the teeth, it's a whole lot of problems. Some people quit afterwards. It's a whole thing, and people all over, like when I was first starting, they were saying you should switch to euphonium. And I'm thinking I don't want to switch to euphonium. And I think what got me was they said it'll be temporary, Tom. Just switch to euphonium for like a year or so, and then you can switch back to trumpet. But then I switched to euphonium, and people loved what I was doing so much. And I slowly accepted it in my heart, I think. And really,
However,
Are you still a frustrated trumpet player?
No, because
Okay.
I really love it now.
But he
Great.
still plays the trumpet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm playing lead in the top jazz
This
ensemble.
is very
Oh,
rare. I've never
that
taught
is rare.
a student that played lead trumpet like he does. When I say lead trumpet, double high C's, I mean, our trumpet players dream and wish to have these high notes that he has very easily, which is very unusual on euphonium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are they different?
Trumpet and euphonium. Well, probably the biggest thing is that the euphonium is a lot bigger than the trumpet. Like there's a lot more to blow into. Like a trumpet's probably about half the size of that.
Can we kind of show and tell here?
Yeah. Like I'd say trumpet might be about half the size of that. Like
This isn't a typical euphonium.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a very special German style euphonium.
yeah, but like for example, this is is this conical? Mm-hmm. Because the lead
Tiny
pipe
bit,
here,
just a little bit.
The lead pipe kind of gets a little bigger as it goes through the horn. Definitely by the time we get to the bell,
Big.
it's a lot bigger. For like trumpet, it kind of stays the same mostly.
So they
All
call that
around.
cylindrical bore.
Cylindrical.
Okay.
And the other big difference is the size
The
of
size
the
of the
mouthpiece.
mouthpiece. Yeah. Trumpet's about way smaller.
It goes in, it would fit
Way.
inside of that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, it would fit inside of there.
Yeah.
So
So Thomas, do you love them both equally? How do you?
I think they're good for
different-
different reasons. And I'm like I do a lot of jazz trumpet playing. There's definitely like classical trumpet playing. Like euphonium is not as common in orchestra, for example.
no.
And so it's nice to have that trumpet experience going on. But like euphonium has a lot of things going on too. Like I've recently, like the last, like just my college experience, I've been looking into like chamber ensembles, like tuba euphonium quartets and euphonium
yeah.
quartets.
So what about his versatility? What does that mean for him professionally down the road?
Well, it's very helpful. I mean, I didn't start on the euphonium either. I mean, I started as a saxophone player, and that was beneficial for me because of the background of jazz. The same thing, where these instruments people don't normally
Yeah.
play jazz, and so it helped me in that respect. So because I was running the jazz ensemble here until recent, and I would never do that if I wasn't someone who had a background in the jazz or the saxophone. So the versatility is very helpful. When I worked at Disney, I played euphonium part of the day, and then I marched trombone, where he plays trombone in the trombone ensemble here. He's
Yeah.
and then Dixie band. You're actually in
Yeah.
Wow,
the
Thomas.
trad
what-
jazz.
Yeah.
And so I mean those are beneficial. And then tuba. I mean I actually played tuba in our faculty brass quintet here, and I did a lot of tuba as an undergraduate. So my day as an undergraduate would start out with jazz band. I played bari sax, and then I went to wind ensemble on euphonium, then trombone choir, then orchestra was sometimes trombone, and then marching band with sousaphone. So there was a lot happening every day with different instruments. And I think you're doing a similar thing here, which I'm a little worried about because I don't want them to get too busy. But
Yeah.
I think when students are busy and they're doing more like that, they're preparing themselves more for their future.
Sure,
because
sure.
If you're a musician and you're not busy, it means you're not playing, and it means you're not making any money.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do
So-
you hope to do, Thomas?
I'd like to teach, probably.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard because like I wish I could just play and that be it. But it's making a living as a musician is pretty complicated, especially now because like if anyone ever wants to listen to a piece of music, they can just press a button on
Yeah.
YouTube,
It's
Spotify,
Change things. Yeah.
And so if you want to be a musician, you have to be really creative and you have to really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So probably some type of teaching.
And with some performance on the side, I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't.
I
can't
love
not
it.
do
I love
that.
it too
Yeah,
much.
Yeah.
Good.
He's actually competing in a couple competitions that are coming up. He's
Yeah.
one of the. We have 3 UCA students from my studio competing in the music. It's a MTNA competition that takes place right here on campus that he's competing in.
Oh, great,
So those
great.
are things that I think that are invaluable for them. Because I mean, I don't know that I knew I was going to make a career teaching or performing when I was his age. I thought I was going to. Well, I thought I was going to play maybe at Disney or something like that full time. Or I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just going to school. I knew I loved the euphonium. That's what I did. I didn't know what salaries teachers had or anything. I was just going along the path. And I never thought I would have a doctorate in music or that I would ever teach at universities. It wasn't on my wish list of dreams. I think I was the kid that wanted to play at Disney. And I did
Yeah.
that. I did that for 10 years. But so you never know what you're going to do.
It's true.
I didn't know the jazz side of things would come back and help me when I had the job here, or how that was valuable. For
Oh,
us.
yeah.
And then even working in the theme park, having the styles was helpful. So it's hard to kind of pick what you want to do. It's good
Yeah.
to have sort of a wish list.
Absolutely. So, what all instruments do you play?
Okay, let's see. Trumpet, euphonium, baritone, which is very similar to euphonium. It's kind of the conical, cylindrical similarity.
Smaller version.
I guess I've never played a cornet, but I probably could. That's like the same thing there. Trombone, I'm still kind of starting out on that, but that's happening. I have a tuba. I haven't been playing it a lot yet. I'd like to get into that soon.
So, you own all of these?
I don't own the baritone. She actually owns the baritone.
Okay, okay.
I do. I own the trombone, the tuba, euphonium, and the trumpet.
Wow.
Yeah, and I can also sing.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is Mr. Versatile, isn't he?
The
Great.
big catch when he
Yeah.
applied to come to UCI, was not sure we were going to get him or not, because
So, where all did you apply?
I
Everywhere?
applied, no, because it costs a lot of money to travel and it's a lot of time, and also, oh man, it was
And you
such
had
a,
to audition.
It
Is
was
that
such
part
yeah,
of
it was
Okay.
such a busy time. I think it was the busiest term I've ever had in my undergrad when I was doing these grad auditions.
I bet.
So I applied UCA, University of North Texas, and Indiana University, and the
Two big ones.
two big
and
ones.
us.
Yeah, the big thing was like the euphonium professors, and
How did you know about UCA from Oregon?
I'd heard Gail Robertson's name come up, and it's actually funny. Like when it was like, I think I contacted you, and immediately I was like, why don't I see what she's doing? You were busy last semester, like you were doing
that
stuff
was my
all the
craziest
time.
year ever.
Yeah. So I was like, man, she's doing all this stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, I was aware, like, I was looking for like experience in like tuba euphonium studios. Like your studio was performing at the
Army
DC,
conference.
yeah, Army
we traveled. The whole
conference,
studio went to Washington D.C.
and that was a big pull. And like people were saying, like, I think there was, I don't remember where, but it was like there's this talk about like, okay, Robertson runs a really good studio.
So, you were accepted in all three?
I was, yes. Well, I was
You had your choice.
sort of. I was waitlisted for North Texas because so many euphonium players auditioned there. And North Texas is kind of like a weird thing because they just switched teachers, and it's a whole. That was one of the reasons I didn't go, because they're still. It's kind of a transition period. It's
Sure,
it's not bad, but it's still like the other guy's studio, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
sure.
And Indiana didn't offer me like scholarship or something, which I don't know. So that
And-
was also a part of
And
it.
here you have the graduate assistantship, which
Yes.
does what?
I'm the recording graduate assistant, so I'm in charge of recording concerts.
All
in
the
rec-
concerts,
in
all the
recital
recitals,
hall.
okay.
Just,
Oh, wow,
Yeah, just
okay.
some of them.
He's
most
part of a
them.
team, but
Okay.
he's, I
Yeah.
think that's his GA position.
Okay.
Pedro's got
Yeah,
that.
it's like me and there's like one other person are like the main people for that.
Okay.
He also helps out with the tuba euphonium studio, where he'll conduct ensemble down the road.
Yeah.
He just helps me in the studio. He'll teach lessons next semester. He'll have a probably a freshman or a music minor that he'll teach lessons to get experience, so they get lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about our program here is that our students get a lot of hands-on. I mean, even with our conducting masters, they conduct Ricky Brooks's wind ensemble. Most universities, you never would touch the top band.
Yeah.
So it's a really awesome master's degree here.
So you just arrived here in August. What do you think so far?
It's great. I love it. There's some things that like remind me of Oregon, like the natural state. There's a lot of there's a lot of really nice stuff going on. Like I go to a brass band in Little Rock, and the drive over, I get to drive over like the river and all this stuff, and it's so nice. Everyone here has been really kind.
And I understand he's come furthest to study with you?
Yeah. We had someone from Wisconsin, and that was pretty far, and then Texas, which isn't too bad, but now he's from Oregon,
Great.
which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Great.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about, I don't know that I knew that you were at Disney.
Oh, no.
Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
I worked at Disney. I was
Disney
I grew
World?
up in Florida. I'm a Floridian from Pompano Beach, Florida, and then I did my undergraduate studies was in Central Florida in Orlando. And so as kids, we went to the park when they first opened. My grandparents took us there, and my mom always tells me, they always remember me asking how come there was no girls in the band.
Oh.
Because when I would see it when I was little, and I was a saxophone player, so I was always looking at the saxophone players. But then they had these student bands that they had auditions for when I was an undergraduate that were just Easter and Christmas time. So I auditioned for that, and I marched. I was in the Cinderella band one year, and then I was in Alice in Wonderland's band. So that started out there, and I always tell my students it's important to be professional even when you're a student, someone who's not full-time, because people remember you. So, I mean, I graduated from UCF, and then I went on to Indiana and did my master's, and I flew down on the weekends to play in those student bands to keep my foot in the door. And then I didn't have time to do it, and then they had an audition for a full-time job that I didn't hear about, and then they remembered me.
And they called
you? So
you?
they called me, and I was in Maryland at the time working on a doctorate, working at Bob's Big Boy, of all places. I worked 8 o'clock at night till 4 a.m. While I did my doctorate, because there was no money there. And then they called me up, and so they were going to fly me down to audition, and then they heard how great I was, and I was reliable, blah, 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 whatever. And they offered me the job. So I packed my stuff, and I left, and I worked there from 89 to 99. And it was the most fantastic opportunity.
And I haven't been to Disney World in 100 years. So what is a full-time gig at Disney
full-time
World?
is 40 hours a week. You have benefits. I mean, they traced my foot and made shoes for me. I mean, costumes provided. I mean, you had all the perks of a full-time employee. So it was great money, and we were, part of the company. Sometimes musicians are outsourced or they're through a contract, and they're not really getting the benefits. But we were actually full-time employees.
Mingling with visitors at the park?
Yeah, you went out there. We'd start, I think our schedule for a long time was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we had Monday, Tuesdays off. And 8 o'clock in the morning would be our first show. We were open in the park.
Okay.
We did things from parades with all the celebrities. There were these Star Day parades they did where Mr. Miyagi, Phyllis Diller. I mean, I can't tell you all the people that, lots of people that came through there. We did, that was where I played trombone. There was, anytime we did a parade, the parades we did, Aladdin Parade was during that time. That Dinosaurs Parade was out during those years. I don't know. I wore all kinds of stuff. You didn't know. The scariest part of that job was because they would pull size charts, and depending on what year it was, you might have gained weight or lost weight. I showed up one time, and it was caveman outfits, and we wore that. Another time we showed up, and there was a rack that had, it had long underwear that was red, and those Davy Crockett hats, and hiking boots. That was it. Yeah. And I was a cheerleader one time. I was a dead French maid in the Ernest Scared Stupid Parade. Yeah, you just didn't know. Yeah.
Really, theater also.
Yeah, also we had appointments where you had to be there at like 2:03 or whatever, and then my friend Willie was there at 2:13 or whatever, and we didn't know what was going on. And I went to the water fountain, and I said hi to some Asian guy that was at the water fountain. It was my African-American friend Willie that was dressed up. They had put costume on him, and he was a dead samurai. Yeah, and that's when I became the dead French maid. Yeah, so you never knew.
That's
so that career was really, really great. I've sort of had 3 kind of careers, you could say. I had that there for 10 years, and then I freelanced and taught a lot of different universities, And then after like 25 years, I decided to go back and do my doctorate. And that's
So you
when-
left Maryland and didn't finish
Well, no,
your-
I left there and went to Disney. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't even
so
finish the semester.
So you gave it up
Yeah.
and then came back and started all over?
Yep. And
Oh.
then, well, 20-something years later, I went back. And by the time I went back, it was a much better degree because I was...
And it was at Maryland also?
No, I went to Michigan State.
Michigan State, that's
And
right.
they gave me an amazing offer. I couldn't say no. It was a University Distinguished Fellowship, which paid all my classes. I didn't teach a single class, and benefits and everything. And it was more money I was making than the adjunct I was making at the university. So I said,
Wow.
I signed it and sent it back with less than 5 minutes.
No brainer. Yeah.
Did that degree in 20 months, like the world records of probably getting the doctorate degree at that school. I mean, hung on the wall. I was ABD for about maybe a week or two, because
Wow.
most people drag that on. But yeah, I was on a mission. Then this job opened up, and it was like, I thought, well, I looked on the map. It was a visiting professor line. I saw lakes, I saw mountains, I saw the rivers, and I thought, I'll go try it for a year, and I don't care to go anywhere else.
Great, great.
So happy to bring all the Octubafest stuff here.
Yeah. So talk about this Toad Suck Buck event.
Yeah, the other event we do is, this is going to be our 5th year. We didn't do it my first year. It's the 5th year we've done this. I became good friends with Ken and Deb Buck out at Toad Suck Bucks.
Which is a
The
restaurant.
Yeah, it's across the river. It's, the restaurant that's got the best steaks, I think, probably in this area.
So let's explain where that is.
You got to cross over the bridge. I don't know, the Arkansas Bridge. It comes
the Arkansas River
Bridge.
Bridge across into Perry County.
Yeah, and then you'll see signs that says Toad Suck Bucks on. Make a right. Then there's another one, and it's just down this road. It looks like it's someone's old house.
And it's near the river.
Yeah, it's right off the river. You can't see because the river's down the hill. But yeah,
Okay.
they love the tuba euphonium there. He feeds my whole studio.
So you just met him? Happened to meet him?
I went to that restaurant and I sat there and I looked around and I thought, this looks like a pretty cool place to hang. And they didn't have the stage at the time. He since has built a stage, and they had some musicians that played there, and I actually go and play with them sometimes. I play bass lines with a bunch of guitar players. And I asked him, and he said, sure. He probably didn't even know what he was getting himself into. And if you've been to their restaurant, their menu has expensive steaks from $40 steaks, and then there's hamburgers and stuff. And he said, I'll feed your kids. And I says, well, there's probably, at that time, probably 16 or 17. I said, well, we need to probably, he goes, well, I don't want them to think I'm cheap. But we limit them to the one side of the menu, because tuba players can eat. So yeah, so we go there. This is an event that happens every year. And every year I write a new polka that's based on one of the towns that's in Arkansas. So we have the Toad Suck Buck polka. And we have the Pickles Gap, which isn't really a town, but that's a cool name. We have Pickles Gap polka. We have the Turkey Scratch polka. Last year was the Seed Tick polka, and I'm right in the middle of writing the, what's what I'm doing now, Possum Grape polka now.
Possum Grape, sure.
So we unveil a new polka every year.
At
Sometimes
this
we have
event.
featured-
At
yeah.
this event. Okay.
Sometimes we featured guest artists. We had Kelly Johnson was our clarinet soloist with the clarinet polka last year. And we may have her again this year and some clarinet students. But it's 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock on the November 2nd.
And that's a Saturday?
It's free. It's on a Saturday. Come and bring your stuff and hang
and
out.
eat?
Yeah,
and,
eat.
And so do they dance?
I don't know if I've seen anyone polking there, but maybe. We bring up guest artists. I think one of our new faculty member, a couple voice faculty might come sing. And so it's a hang. We like it.
Have you done the polka? Have you played polkas?
I've
Rehearsed them.
rehearsed. That's about it.
Before you got here?
There may have been like some smaller things, but I think
have
I
a
think what
whole
was
book.
it? Just about last week, just this whole binder of like
Binder of polka.
a bunch.
So how did you get so enamored with the polka?
I think, I've been hosting there's another performance thing I've been doing for 23 years in Orlando called Tuba Christmas. And as you can tell, I'm like, I love doing it. And I still host that even though I live in Arkansas because I don't know how to not host it. When I moved to Arkansas, I thought, do I want to do a Tuba Christmas here? And I know that there's already some existing. I thought, I'm going to do something different. And that's why I thought we would do this Toad Suck thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I did. Polkas work great for tubas. And euphoniums. They just fit our instrument. I can demonstrate for you. If you want.
I think we should do that.
This is one that you're going to hear a lot of.
Love it. Love that. Is that the new one?
That's Beer Barrel Polka.
Okay. Okay.
Roll out
Yeah.
the
Oh,
barrel.
sure,
We didn't get
sure,
to there
sure.
yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe we'll
You'll have to come check
you have
it
to
out.
come to Toadsuck Bucks.
Yeah, our seed tick polka featured the Alphorn, and this the possum grape. I wasn't sure how do you make a polka be like a possum or a grape? So I'm hiding a little bit. I've heard it through the grapevine, just a tiny
okay.
tad bit.
Okay. Okay.
So the turkey scratch has turkey calls. We introduced 4 different turkey calls on that. It's hilarious, yeah. And then I'm trying to think the toadsuck one is sort of bow womp, womp, sort of like frog jumping. So yeah, and there's words to that one, I think.
So you write the words also?
I have a colleague, my tuba player, my buddy who I collaborate with is Dr. Stacy Baker out of Morehead State University. I was just there and played polkas, and we fished, and I wore that whole get-up and did polkas at her school. And yeah, she writes the words to them. Yeah, we have the toadsuck trio. It's called the Tadpole Trio.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
about a
Love
frog
it.
that's wishing it had legs. That's actually a tadpole that wished it had legs.
Okay, before we go, let's very quickly, we have October the 25th at 7:30 p.m. in the Snow Fine Arts Center is what?
Octubafest.
Octubafest, which is a concert with the undergrads.
Undergrads are going to play solos, and it's a great night.
And October 29th at 7:30 is?
Tubaween or Octubaween. That's going to have the graduate students playing their solos, and then we have the big ensemble that's going to play. And actually new to this year is our UCA tuba. It's the tuba euphonium concerto competition, and we've got 4 faculties that are in the running for this. They're going to have to play the euphonium
That
on
night.
concert. Yeah,
That night. Okay.
it's either Dr. Donahue or Mrs. or Mr. Dr. Dickinson or Jennifer Hawkinson, and they're going to vote who gets to play the euphonium on that concert.
Okay. And that's at the Snow Fine Arts Center,
Yep.
free and open to the public. And November 2nd.
That is going to be the Toadsuck Bucks Octubafest.
Okay.
And that's 3 to 5.
In Perry County.
Yep.
And we and free. Come out,
Free,
eat dinner,
Come
have
out
a good
and eat.
time.
We have these shirts we wear that's got fake Lederhosen on it. It's hilarious. And I ordered green hats. I've got these green polka hats I just ordered.
I can't wait. Thanks for joining us on Spotlight
Thank
today,
you.
Gail and Thomas.
Thanks.
We'll be back again next time for Spotlight.
What will you find at UCA?
The next generation of artists
educators,
and communicators.
The College of Fine Arts and Communication offers 42 undergraduate and graduate programs of exceptional quality.
Contributing to a deeper appreciation of the human experience.
but we also invest in your experience.
With broadcasts, conferences, exhibits, live performances,
Publications, recitals, readings, and screenings.
We even offer a unique artist-in-residence program.
Featuring performances and master classes with accomplished visiting artists.
All of that experience pays off.
The school placement rates of our music teacher graduates with K-12 certification is close to 100%. We have many disciplines here, but they all share the same dedication to rigorous practice,
and scholarly achievement.
which is why our graduates perform so well.
The College of Fine Arts and Communication at the University of Central Arkansas.
Go here and go anywhere.
Here I am back at UCA. This is where I got my start. Acting in plays, studying literature, writing scripts. Campus has grown so much in the last few years, and the technology is incredible. UCA is where I learned the craft of storytelling and got ready for a career in New York and LA. That's how I got here. Go here and go anywhere. Go UCA.